Well, right about now, it is time for us to introduce our guest of the evening. We actually have two guests this evening, but in this segment, we are talking to Johann Heaven, the brand new CEO of Proven. So, welcome to Taking Stock, Johann, your first time in this capacity.
Yes, hi Kalila. Thank you so much for having me. Taking stock has a special place in our heart. We joined you from the beginning,
Absolutely.
so yeah, man, I'm really happy to see where it has been.
I spoke to you way back when we had just started. I had interviewed you probably on Money Mondays when we were still doing Money Mondays. And now
Right.
here you are as the big man over at Proven. So, congratulations on your
Thank you.
appointment as CEO.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
So, let's get some background about you. So, I've met you before, our viewers have not met you. And so
Right.
now we want to know, who is Johann Heaven? Like, where did you grow up? What did you study? What did you do before Proven?
Right. So I've been in the financial industry for, the last 25 years. I started off my career at Daring Bunting and Golding. So I was actually hired by Peter Bunting at the time to be the first analyst at Daring Bunting and Golding. They had just acquired the unit trust portfolio from ISO Trust, and they needed an analyst to come in and analyze the equity portfolio. So I was actually brought in as the first analyst, and I was responsible for analyzing all the stocks on the stock exchange. At that time, we only had 20 stocks listed, but that's where my career started, and I started there coming straight out of university. Did a finance degree in London, a master's in finance, and joined Dearmont and Golding. And from there, got a great opportunity to learn finance, learn the business, learn investments. I went through the treasury unit, and then I eventually became responsible for strategic planning at Dearmont and Golding and the execution of the major projects there. And that led into the acquisition by Scotiabank. And I stayed on with Scotia after they acquired Darren Bunting and Golding as vice president for projects, strategic planning, and analysis, responsible for the analysis of all the off balance sheet investments and the portfolio. And from there, I got the call. The ex principals of DBNG, along with Chris Williams, were ready to start Proven, and that was a no-brainer for me, having worked with them at Darren Bunting and Golding for those many years at the start of my career, and was involved with Proven as a founder from the get-go. Hired in as the chief investment officer, responsible for analyzing all the investments in the portfolio as well as all the acquisitions along the way. During my time at Proven, which now we're at 15 years in at Proven, I have been responsible for also running Proven Wealth, which I was CEO between 2019 to 2022, and then after 2022, I rejoined Proven Management in the capacity as deputy CEO. So I've been operating as deputy CEO for the past 3 years, working very closely with Chris, and then now transitioning into the CEO role. So, it has been quite a ride, lots of growth at Proven over the past 15 years. And, I'm happy to take on this role, take on the mantle, and to take Proven to the next level.
So you're an OG over at Proven. You helped to build this company.
Yes, yes, I was involved from the beginning. I mean, Chris actually called me, a few years before Proven started, and we worked on the business plan together, and then it just blossomed from there. So, yeah, so I have been involved from the beginning, and I have worked on every transaction, every deal, straight through the many acquisitions. It has been a very busy 15 years. I've had quite a few acquisitions, and now we're in the mode of just consolidating those acquisitions and getting down to providing returns for our shareholders based on what we have acquired, and the trajectory of growth that we're on right now.
So does all of that experience, including the recent years as deputy general manager, Does that prepare you for, sorry, Deputy CEO, does
This
that
year.
prepare you to step into the CEO shoes, or does nothing ever really prepare you for that role?
Yeah, no, it does prepare me, and we do have a robust transition plan at Proven. So there is a process that we go through in a transition such as this. So yes, I did get quite a bit of added responsibilities as deputy CEO, which has prepared me for the role right now. And along the way, as deputy, I was in charge of banking and wealth, for instance, which is the largest pillar under the group. So I've already been in charge of the majority of the revenue generating businesses that fall under Proven. And then being also in the role for the past 6 months or so on, as CFO and head of finance, and overseeing operations and stuff. So yeah, so there has been a great learning experience and a great transition that we've had over the past 2 years, from Chris to myself in this new role. And then having the history, being there from the beginning, the 15 years of history, and knowing all the transactions and the deals, the transition hasn't been a huge one for me. So I mean, Proven is at my heart and soul, and I know pretty much live and die Proven every day. So
I'm
yeah,
sure. Bleeding black, black and white, huh?
black and white, sure.
Looking at the past couple of years, it has been a challenging time for financial sector, both in terms of the numbers that the entire sector has been reporting, and for investors on the stock exchange as well. I'm looking at, I believe these are your most recent numbers. This would be 6 months ended September 30, 2024. Dip in net revenue from 30 million to 29 million. And then we're seeing a net loss of 1.8 million for the first quarter ending June 2024, which was down from almost $4 million profit same period in 2023. Now, what has impacted the company to the point that we're here, and what are you doing to turn things around?
Sure. So the macroeconomic environment has changed considerably over the past 3 years. So we've seen, beginning in 2022, interest rates globally have increased considerably. So not only in Jamaica, but the Federal Reserve in the U.S. has increased rates. The European Central Bank has increased rates. So we've seen rates between 2022 to early 2024. There was a significant increase in rates, and that has really affected the financial sector as a whole. From a net interest standpoint, the spreads have shrunk in terms of the spread between what you earn on your assets and your liabilities that reprice. So there has been an impact there. Also on the ability to trade securities. So an increase in rate means that your security, the value of your securities fall. So your ability to generate gains on a regular basis, which is a core income item for financial services businesses, has been hampered over the past few years. We've seen a turnaround of that since last year. So rates have come down, are on their way down. We've seen where the U.S. Federal Reserve has reduced rates over the last couple of meetings, down to 5%. In Jamaica, we've seen where rates are falling. If the benchmark rate has fallen, BOJ has brought down rates. But if you look at the benchmark rate, which is the 30-day CD rate, in July of last year, that rate was over 10%. The last treasury bill, the last CD rate that came out was below 6%. So there has been a significant fall in rates locally, and this will augur well for the financial sector going into the rest of this year. Additionally, JMB and our investment in JMB is one of our largest investments, and they haven't been shielded from the effects of the macro environment. So their performance as well has been lagging and has affected our performance. And with the change in the environment and the change in rates, and we expect that the performance from JMB as well as our other banks within the Proven Group will have a significant uptick going into the next financial year.
And speaking of that, I see a question from one of our viewers, Philip. Philip always coming with the good questions. What's the company's current outlook on JMMB Group, given your major stake and current position of the investment? Buying more?
Well, we're 20% owner, and we plan to keep the 20% ownership. We don't plan to increase it, and our outlook for JMMB is very positive. As I said, rates coming down, their spreads will widen. They're doing very well in Domrep, doing very well in Trinidad. Things are looking up for JMMB. JMMB is a 25% owner of Sagicor Financial Corporation, which has been doing very well and will continue to do well for JMMB as well. So JMMB going into next year will, based on our analysis, have a much better year than it has been having over the last 2 years.
What would you say are, well, that's good to hear. I like that optimism for JMMB, which means optimism for Proven as well. What would you say are the top three things that you would like to accomplish as CEO?
So the first is our focus right now is on our technology. So we want to be the leader in offering first world technology to the region and first world technology linked to finance. So that is our number one focus right now. We're putting in our core system and rolling that out throughout our banking and wealth businesses across the Caribbean. And that will allow us to leverage technology and leverage the various apps and the various peripheral services that we can offer to our clients on this one platform. So first of all, that is it, to deliver a technology-driven financial sector entity. And then secondly, to hone in on our customers and their needs and their requirements. So we're not only in finance, banking, and wealth, but properties is a huge part of our business. So rolling in and having a holistic picture of the needs of our clients and having a one-stop shop, for instance, for your needs. So you come to Proven to save for your kids' college. You come in to save for a house. Once you built up that nest, you're able to buy one of Proven's houses and to have that holistic future of offering financial solutions for our clients. And then the third and the most important is just bringing those returns to our shareholders and our stakeholders, our team members, just delivering on the returns that Proven has promised and has delivered in the past. The last 2 years have been tough, but bringing us back to the days where the shareholders and the returns that the shareholders receive, and as well as our team members, is back to where we were before.
As you mentioned, the properties, Oren online wants to know. He says there's a luxury multi-story condo in Ochi called Soul Harbor. He wants to know if it's a Proven property because it looks good.
Yeah, it is a Proven property and it's fabulous. So it's two big towers that are going up in Ochi. One is fully sold, other they're both fully sold off. And once that property is done, it will be an iconic property in the Ochi area. So we're really happy with those. And again, that is for next year. That is another positive for Proven. We have quite a few properties in the pipeline that will be finished next year. So there's Sol Harbor, and there's also Bahari in Runaway Bay, which will be completed within the next financial year. And the returns on those investments and those sales will be booked within the next financial year. So we expect a huge positive from that as well.
What's the update on the one in Mandeville?
So the one in Mandeville, there are a few units left, but it's pretty much sold. But there are a few units left for sale.
Is it the construction is complete?
The construction of the apartment building is complete, a residential building, but there is also a commercial aspect to it as well, which has started construction and is expected to be completed within the next financial year or after that as well.
Okay, looking out for that because that's been a property. I live in Mandeville now, so we do see it all the time there by over by Mega Mart, and always wondering, what's the status update on it. Um, you made a point earlier about tech being one of your priorities as the new CEO. What
Mhm.
specifically in tech? What can I can't even say really because you're not a bank. What can your customers, your clients expect on the tech side, or is it that it's something that you're going to be implementing internally for those who work with the company?
So we are a bank. So we do in Jamaica. We are proven. There's proven wealth in Jamaica. So we do wealth management in Jamaica. But we proven also owns a bank in Cayman, Proven Bank,
Oh yeah,
and in St.
I
Lucia as
forgot
well.
about that. You're right.
So yeah. So the technology there, um, you know, just changing the landscape of the financial sector within those territories is key for us. You just introducing Apple Pay, introducing mobile banking, artificial intelligence, of course, with a personal touch, because that's what Proven is known for. It's personal touch, and it's customer delivery and customer service. So, using the technology, but also bringing it with that personal touch is where we're headed.
All right, let me take some questions from our viewers. I see quite a few questions coming in here for you. Philip wants to know how many IPOs is Proven bringing to us this year?
Yeah, good question, Philip. Good question. So we do have two IPOs in our pipeline for this year. One of them very interesting. It's a regional entity. So yeah, you can look out
Mm.
for that from Proven.
Okay, very interesting. Next question comes from Learn, Grow, Invest, who wants to know what is Proven's focus in the market right now. Haven't heard much in a while, and they have a follow up. Let me find the follow up question. Uh, where is it? Which business area? No, that's not the one. Which business area is Proven expecting to see the most growth over the next 12 months?
All right. All right. I forgot the first question, but in terms of our business areas for growth, right now the banks, both in Cayman and Saint Lucia, have been doing very well, and the profits from and the returns from those entities we're very happy with. In terms of growth, we expect the growth to come from the wealth management side. So, with the change in environment, we expect that there will be a significant turnaround in our wealth management business. So that's really where we see the growth from the business right now and from our other subsidiaries within wealth.
The first part of the
Yep.
question was what's Proven's focus in the market right now? I think they're kind of the same question.
Right. Yeah. So I see you haven't when you say you haven't heard much in a while. So yeah, I agree. So over the past 15 years, we were on acquisition binge. So we acquired and acquired and acquired. Right now, the focus is on consolidation and just taking what we have purchased and maximizing the returns on what we have right now. That really is the focus of the company right now.
Question coming from Strong Link, who wants to know how is Proven positioning itself to cope with the impact of Trump's policies? Also, is the negative impact of the IFRS on JMB's sub Sagicor behind us now?
Two very good questions. So, one thing that we can expect with Trump is a lot of volatility. We saw it yesterday, for instance. The tariffs were announced in the morning. The stock market basically, was down 2-3%. By 12 o'clock, we heard it was off for 30 days. The stock market recovered and was back in positive. We can expect during the Trump era, especially these first 100 days, that there's going to be a lot of volatility. Proven its position itself to be on the outside of this volatility right now. The riskiness of the market, the uncertainties in the market, the uncertainties in the geopolitical space. It's just a very uncertain time, and we're staying as liquid and as conservative as possible right now, given just the uncertainties within the market.
On the
In
point
terms
of
of
being
the
liquid,
IFRS on Sagittarius, sorry,
yeah, answer
Khalil.
that question first before I follow up. IFRS and Sagicor.
Yes, so the IFRS in Sagicor is, well, IFRS is IFRS. So um, the big hit that they had last year was the introduction of a new IFRS standard. So IFRS standards can change at any point in time. They're very unpredictable. So it's hard to say and to say definitively that that will never happen again. So, but where they are now, the hope is that there isn't going to be any big changes to any IFRS principles. Hopefully, soon.
All right, next question comes from, this is a good question. I've been hearing this question for a while, and following up on your point about being liquid and conservative, Dwight wants to know, when will Proven start to pay quarterly dividends again?
Very good question, Dwight. We have actually. So the past 2 quarters we've paid dividends, and and we have a board meeting coming up shortly. So hopefully we will continue paying dividends, but it's all dependent on the profitability, as you know, and cash flow. But yeah, we have resumed our dividends. We have started paying, over the last 2 quarters. So
Okay,
yeah,
Gregory wants to know, any major acquisitions on the horizon for Proven?
there's nothing in the pipeline right now, but trust me, we get deals and transactions across my desk on a daily basis. So we do take a hard look at all opportunities that are out there, and yeah, we never know. We may pull the trigger on one of them if we see a really great opportunity.
And speaking of opportunities, sorry guys, I have a flu and I'm a little bit irritated right now. Something, I don't know, a piece of dust catch me just now. So now my voice is irritated. Where do you see the company in 15 years?
In 15 years, that proven, will be spread wider throughout the Caribbean, especially in banking. Where we do have banking and wealth, where we do have our core competence, and in territories where we see a huge potential for growth, and where we can build out a proper operating capacity, and be able to grow throughout the Caribbean. So really, that is really where I see Proven over the next 15 years, just being a force to reckon with within the regional financial sector.
Any plans to expand Proven Bank, bring it to Jamaica and the region?
Well, as you know, the Bank of Jamaica hasn't issued any new banking license in forever. So if that opportunity arises, yes, that definitely is something that we would look at and be very open to.
And I'll take
But
this
yeah,
final
but there are
question.
opportunities throughout the Caribbean. Some of the Canadian banks exiting, so there are opportunities to acquire and to widen our scope in banking throughout the Caribbean.
I'll take this final question from Limitless Podcast. Would Proven consider taking a more active role in the management of JMMB Group?
So we are a 20% owner, and our participation at JMB is as a passive investor, and participation at the board level. So Narisha Parkinson, who is an employee at Proven, is our representative on the board. and we may get another board representative board seat, but that's really the level of involvement in JMMB that we have right now.
Okay. Well, anything else that you'd like to share with us before you leave, Johan?
No, I mean, thank you very much for having me, Kalila. And just to say to investors, look out for Proven. It is one of those companies that, has built a solid track record within the financial sector. It is, a great dividend play for anybody looking for income within your investments, and the potential for growth, especially where the share price is now, is a good and attractive entry price, in our opinion. So yeah, so look out for it, and the investing public, it's a great investment.
Well, thanks, Johan. All the best to you and the team there at Proven. And I hope we can do some business again together soon.
All right. Yes, most definitely. Thanks for having me, Karina.